I help.
I'm just going default, mate.
Load the fucking setup.
Don't need it. It's sooty.
Exactly. Load the setup.
He's probably changed it already, Mike, to be fair.
I've got an ace up my sleeve anyway.
Fuck's sake!
No, Pian. Don't go punching doors. Don't do it me.
No, I won't punch the door. I'll probably launch my controller across the room.
Yes.
Only one raging today.
Oh, Jamie's joined the chat. Gone laggy.
No, he just lagged himself out instead.
He's just lagged himself out of the chat. Fucking hell.
Hope you're all fucking our overtakers in.
Sorry, I don't put 1 lap of fuel in my car.
1 lap. Oh god.
I'm in the penalty box.
Dotty, put that setup in. Honestly, it'll transform the car.
You what?
Running without that setup will not help you.
I've got a setup. I'm just getting used to the wheel again, mate.
Why does Mike's car look grey and Sooty's car look white?
Because he's probably not chrome.
Because he's a bad man, that's why.
Are you chrome, Sooty?
No.
What are you? Metallic?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll change mine.
I might actually have to consider changing car.
Oh, Sooty,
The first change already.
Right
Go
up
on,
his ass.
Master.
What the fuck?
Go on, Mazda. Love that. Oh, who's this coming in the Audi?
Who do you think?
Your mum.
Guy has just lagged his ass out the chat.
Yeah.
Can I have a glass of pop?
Should I be putting qualified fuel in this, or 61 litres about right?
That time I've done was with 61 litres.
What the fuck did my tyre pressure so low? Bitch. Excuse me, that's not allowed. Racist.
It's interesting driving this behind you, so it reacts well differently behind a car.
12 out of the 16 people are currently in.
Oh, who's that? That's going to annoy me.
Who?
When it lags out.
It's when
Fucking
people join
how many cars?
and stuff.
Should be 16 out there tonight, I do believe.
That did not
Does Fury just sit on the apex?
Mate, that would not let me stop for shit.
Mike,
Yeah?
what's softer? 18,000
That's a
Newton
line.
meters or 19,000
Hate
Newton
this
meters?
track.
On what?
Well, wheel rate.
The lower number.
The lower, the softer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I take a way too tight of a line through there.
16 drivers for tonight, should be. I missed Mike and Monkey Boy off my original list, so I've just added them. Didn't need to add my teammates, I know he's going to qualify, you know what I mean? Hey, Monkey. Right, I'm going in the comms box. Catch you guys in a bit. Don't forget it's open, so if you want to jump in, feel free.
Don't think I'm in that one, am I?
Yeah, shut up.
Oi, Russia!
Go away.
You up? Yeah, if I have to drink water tonight, I have to drink water tonight. Thank you, boosters. You could just leave it behind there it was.
Rusty?
Come on, Liam, we're right. Yeah, we've got doing his usual fucking typical self again. That's a bunch. Yes, thank you. That doesn't, that's a trumpy one. That does, that's a lovely bubble.
Good proper guess. Don't do it back.
You come in. You just woke up. Oh, bless you, mate. Right, catch you in a minute, Hmm? No, he's gone. He does, yes. Alright. He's the bestest. I did order things. You're welcome. There he is. Hey. You there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. You tired, mate? Right. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Good evening and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. Here for tonight's second night of the qualifying action then, and it is me, your host Matthew Duffin. Once again in the commentary box, I'm joined by that buzzy boy, Liam Bostock, who was here last night with us and got to witness firsthand what some of the drivers could do out there on the track. And I watched it back from last night, and I have to say, Buzzy, it was an interesting night of seeing what the drivers actually do, and it's going to be fascinating tonight to see what they can do again. First of all, though, how are you?
Tired is the easiest way to put it.
Apart from that?
Yeah, I'm alright, apart
Good.
from that.
Good. We got to see firsthand last night, Liam, of what drivers can do out there on the track. Obviously, as Dan said a few times, it seemed to be mainly the Pro-Am grid of Project Cars that was out there last night. Tonight we have a very different category of field. We've got mainly the Pro category out there. There are currently 3 drivers currently missing at the moment. They are Smokey Devil, Ukbar, and just having a look at the list. I can't see. And Gary 131. Now we may not have Gary 131 with us. He's not well at the moment, very under the weather. So if Gary's not here tonight, we wish him best of luck in his recovery, and hope he gets better soon. Set a qualifying lap time to see which group he's in. So at the minute, missing Smokey, Gary, and as I say that, one's just joining now. So we'll see who that is. That may be Ukbar, I believe, who's coming to the session. But Liam, the biggest question is, different cars out there tonight. There's a Porsche, there's Audis, there's more Bentleys, there's more McLarens, there's Ferraris, as well as an Aston Martin. What are we looking forward to tonight? What car strikes us as the best car to be out there on the track? What car strikes us as the most intriguing one?
Most intriguing? It might be the Lamborghini. I know there's quite a lot a lot of potential in the car.
We saw obviously quite a few last night out there on the grid, didn't we, as well? And Fiore, the only man in the Lamborghini tonight. Darren Tibbs in the Porsche at the moment. In fact, let's have a rundown of who is on what. We'll go from on track. So Fiore CBK at the moment, there you see, in the Lamborghini. Currently out there on track. Looking good so far, bouncing off the sausage. Okay, Peaceful Explosion in the Ferrari. That's not really a surprise to us, is it? We know he does like a Ferrari.
Yes, but yeah, I think he did his last few seasons in the Ferrari, didn't he? In the Pro.
He did indeed. Exit Tibbs back for another season in a lovely Gulf livery. Look at that, that's beautiful. In a Porsche. Interesting one. He was Porsche last season when he came into Pro-Am. A car of his choice. Big boy Brazy has just left the pits. He is also in an Audi. Now, does that strike you as a surprise from Jamie?
No. I know that he likes the Audi. Obviously, me and him teamed up for season 3 and was in the Audi, I believe. Audi.
Dan on Orthodubs. Oh, sorry. Carry on.
No, yeah, I know. It's either that or the Lamborghini I'd have thought Jamie would be, and I know varies 2 main car choices.
Unorthodox in the Porsche. Now, we've seen Dan testing a different car off air. This is a late change, and this has surprised me.
Yeah, I know I've heard a bit of chit-chat about, obviously, what car he will be going in, but I know that I believe the Lamborghini was obviously one, but I think he's obviously choosing the car he feels more comfortable with at the minute, as obviously the practice session, you don't actually have to run this car for the season. You could just run any car you want that you feel comfortable in.
Yeah, indeed, you can. Down the list, and Holty's out there on track. Holty, Mercedes-Benz for the last couple of seasons on project cars, but he's in the McLaren at the moment, Bozzy, the 720S, a car you like and know very well. Interested to see Holty in that one?
Not really, because I don't believe he's actually driven this game that much, and I know last night I said that the McLaren's probably one of the better cars to go in if you're new to the game.
Indeed, so another man in the McLaren, a guy that we know, me and you know very, very well on this game, but on the PC platform, is Enplave in the McLaren, Bozzy.
Wait, say that again, sorry?
Plava, we know him very well in the McLaren. What can he do?
He's quite a quick driver, as you've actually said, in fact, that obviously we've done stuff on the PC together, but yeah, I think he should be able to do quite well. I've got no doubt that he'll be in the Pro as long as he can obviously keep the pace up that he does have on the PC, with obviously the two differing a little bit when it comes to like, the tyre settings and whatnot.
Good job we're not at Spa.
Yeah, he might drop it on El Rouge.
For those who don't understand that, me, Liam and Plava did a 24-hour race on ACC at Spa on the PC, and it was in an alright place. Wasn't near the front or anything, but Plava stacked it up our Rouge and had a 5-minute pit stop. Up bar in the McLaren. Now this kind of not really a surprise to us. We've seen him in this car for quite a while. In fact, he's confirmed a teammate, provided they qualify in the same group. So this one kind of doesn't surprise. It surprised us when he come to the game, but it doesn't really surprise us in terms of what we've seen over the last month.
Now, Ugbar is another good driver as well, to be fair. I know I've raced against him a couple times in the Pro-Am, and yeah, he's got a lot of potential, but I know obviously when it comes to teammates, it's very bit behind closed doors at the minute for a lot of teams. I know there's a few teams which are quite open and out already, and then there's a few which we're not saying anything yet.
Yeah. Indeed, there is. D. Biggs in the Aston Martin. Biggs a late entry to the season. He's in for qualifying tonight, and he's picked, again, probably one of the 3 cars that you'd pick at the start of ACC. The Aston Martin for D. Biggs. Bozzy, good car choice.
Yeah, I know me and Monkey Boy actually ran that car when it came to Watkins Glen for what we actually did on the PC. I know, but yeah, D Biggs in the Aston Martin, quite a good car. I think hopefully he's not in the wrong one. Hopefully he's in the V8.
He's in the V8, yeah.
Yeah, just making sure.
Monkey Boy then. Oh, sorry, carry on.
I know some people have the tendency to go in the wrong car and then realise after.
Monkey Boy sat in the Bentley in some beautiful colours, I must say. Them colours remind me of someone's colours last night, Monkey Boy. The Team Dynamics Halford Yuasa Racing colours, if you ask me. One man we've not checked on at the moment as well, 2 men, sorry, because they've both been in the pits. Disco McDisco Face, in which I have to say is one of the nicest looking colours schemes on that grid at the moment, bar the Bentley. The black and yellow Ferrari for Disco McDisco Face. He ran the Ferrari last season here, so that's an interesting one. And our current GT3 champion for Project Cars, Overtaker, sitting in the McLaren. Now, does that one surprise you, Bozzy Boy?
Who was that again? Sorry.
Overtaker.
There we go. Yeah. To be fair, I don't really know Overtaker loads and loads. I know I've heard bits and bobs about him. I've seen him race. I know, if I'm correct, he actually won last season in the Pro. But I'm not too aware of the driver, but like I say, I know he's quite a fast driver, and I can imagine that he can drive the tits off the car.
Yeah, indeed. As Dan goes into P4 in his Porsche. The Ferrari, the car of people's choice in the poll at the moment. And we have a minute left of free practice before we get into our hours qualifying. So Spooky Devil and Gary, they've got plenty of time to get in and make sure they get a lap set. Obviously, we are advising all drivers, do not change your cars you're in. Do not leave the lobby early. You have to stay until the end of qualifying so we can get your lap time down. Otherwise, we will miss it and therefore not know what you are in. So please stay in for the whole duration of the session. Now, unlike Dan last night, I am able to, look, do this, change some cameras, and they're not static. Look, we've got them. They move. They follow the car. Unlike Dan, we've got these correct camera angles. And I have to say, Disco, going on board him, he is sporting a yellow and black helmet with yellow and black gloves, yellow and black overalls, and his yellow and black Ferrari. And a yellow visor. I've got a feeling that his favourite colour might be blue.
I was thinking green.
Yeah, close one. Close one. But we'll never, we'll catch up on a few drivers and see what spiffing uniforms they are wearing throughout tonight's session as we go through. So, Bozzy, we saw 44. What sort of lap times do we think? What do we think the cut-off's going to be tonight?
It's going to be hard with, obviously, you pretty much, like I said last night, it was almost a guarantee that you was going to be in the pro. I can imagine there's going to be quite a lot of people around your time. I know.
Tonight's a little harder, isn't it?
Yes.
Like you say last night, you knew I was kind of guaranteed the pro. That's no disrespect to last night's drivers. That's just the difference in the categories. And this is why we're doing this format, to figure out the categories, isn't it? Whereas tonight,
yeah,
if you look back at our Project Cars 2 seasons, there's a lot of pro drivers on tonight's lineup. So the calibre tonight, you know, Max Mulder was the second fastest, but by the end of tonight, he could be 20th fastest out of everybody. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Especially when you've got people on there like Unorthodox and Overtaker, Jamie Brazier, so on and so forth. We know there's drivers which are quite quick, and then we know there's a few drivers that might not be there on the pace, but could definitely be one of those that could be contending to be able to go into the pro. It's just really all about if you can get that time and push the car to its limit.
Indeed it is. As we go on board, Unorthodox, look with his black and yellow helmets and overalls. Fantastic colours and great onboard shots to see Dan as a driver take it to the track. I have to apologise, Smithy, for sounding a bit like Max Verstappen there. Picking myself up too much, you see. As we go through,
car and now he's talking like
it. It's crazy, unbelievable. Excuse me, on air. Oh, excuse me, on air. Apologies for that one then. As Dan, then the first man to take to the track, followed by his rival of last season, Overtaker. Now, the bonus of this year is our track map shows us what numbers we are. So, you remember commentating Project Cars, Buzzy? And it's like, who's first to finish a lap? And it's like, no, it's not him, it's not him, it's not him, it's not him. We have track numbers where we can see who's out there first on track. Evening, though, to Mother Davis in the chat, Smithy, Peaceful Stepdad, DJ Phil, Fury's granddad, and everybody else currently watching the stream. So Dan, the first man out then, will set the benchmarks. Mother Davis says, bless you, thank you very much. Overtaker is the second man out there, car number 14. Now, let's give you a bit of background, as I don't think... Oh, Sooty Apex there, messing up the corner and taking out one of the polystyrene boards that says that you can't go this way. He's got to correct that one. Now, let me explain these coloured numbers on your screen. I don't know if Bozzy and Dan covered this last night. There was a couple of different coloured numbers. Now, what you don't see at the minute is you don't see a white number. Now, the drivers have all picked their numbers. Dan, for example, is number 16. His number is grey. That means he is in the silver car category. Now, what that basically means is it's basically Pro-Am. Red is amateur, silver is Pro-Am, and white is Pro. Now, that number will appear at the side of their car. Under the number on the side of their car, it will say silver underneath. We can't quite see it from our angle at the moment, but that's what it says. The red number is, like I say, amateur, and last night I think I was the only white number last night to take part, which is pro. They're the difference. That's why the people have different coloured numbers, for those who are wondering. It means nothing. It's basically a bit like your safety rating on Project Cars. It's basically how long you've played the game, have you got your track medals up, have you got your safety rated up, how consistent are you, blah, blah, blah. You then get elevated into the silver class and the pro class. Doesn't really mean anything in terms of the season. So in terms of coloured numbers, do not worry and panic, because it means nothing. Otherwise, I'd be in pro on my own. There'd be a good grid of Pro-Am, and then there'd be a third grid of Am. What would be bad, Buzzy, is if I was in pro on my own, is if I lost that. If I lost to myself, that would be terrible.
I think that would be funny.
I think it'd be absolutely bloody hilarious. It'd be boring to watch, just one car going round for 20 minutes and then an hour. But hey.
Hey, Formula 1.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So Dan then is about to come to the end of his lap and set his first lap time. Ukbar's just behind him, and I think Ukbar is on a on an out lap here. So you see, look at that. You see the silver now. Now I've changed the camera angle. Look, you can see the silver just underneath Dan's car. Look at my cameras. They move. As Dan then sets the benchmark straight away. No, he doesn't. Must have invalidated his lap time. Well done. So we go down to Overtaker then, as there's a car coming out the pits. Overtaker's coming through. He's now slowing down. Now, Overtaker clearly treating this as a proper qualifying session. And by that, I mean he's actually sort of pacing himself. Disco has done a lap of a 45.3, and Peaceful goes 1.5 off the back of him there then, early on in this session. Bozzy Peaceful on this game says that he doesn't spin the car at all on this game. Came on stream last week, span a few times in that GT3, GT4 race. But he is a lot better at this than he is at Project Cars, isn't he? He's like same as Monkey Boy. He's a lot better on this than Project Cars. Do we think Peaceful and Monkey Boy have a chance of doing a bit more on ACC?
It would be nice to see him do a bit more. We might actually see Peaceful get more than one race win, and yeah, he might even win the first race of the season. You never know.
That would be absolutely brilliant if he did. He obviously won the first race of Project Cars 2. The first ever Simplay Motorsport events, that was. Monkey Boy 1.8 off the back of Disco, Peaceful 1.5, bit slidey through there. Who's coming towards the line? Car number 29, that is Enplave in his Latvian coloured McLaren 720S. That's a little wide. That's probably going to be a lap time invalidated. Or he probably backed off to go again and put in another lap time now. So who else is coming to the line? Number 79, that's Jamie Brazier, big boy Brazier, who comes to the line here. And is he going to set a new benchmark? No, as his lap time is also invalid. Dan knows to the line now, and Dan, 7/10 off the back of Disco already at the start of this lap. Now, new rules for the season coming ahead. Obviously, I hope the drivers have all read them and stuff, but you saw there, just ahead of Jamie, was a car coming out of the pit lane. That is crucial in terms of the season, as Disco improves to a 45.3. So does even better there. Overtaker's coming to the line. What can he do? Does a 45 dead, so even quicker from him. Car number 12's coming to the line. That's Sooty Apex. Yeah, the drivers have to be careful on pit exit and pit entry nowadays, don't they, Bozzy? You can't cut the pit entry at all. And especially in a qualifying format like this, the drivers exiting the pit lane have to be aware of the drivers coming down the start straight on a fast lap.
Yeah, they do. Obviously, you could feel like, especially if, say, you get your two drivers collide, obviously you'll get your penalties, whatever you will get for it. But you actually feel a lot. You feel the damage. I find that you feel the damage a lot more, and especially if you get enough, it could just ruin your entire race. Whereas on Project Cars 2, you get a little bit of damage, say. In as much as you can feel it, you can obviously go in pits, get it sorted, and you're out. Whereas damage on here, it's like, oh look, you got damage, and you're gonna be in pits for like half the race. Yeah,
completely agree. Evening to Fury's mum in the chat as well. Hope you're well, Laura. Zamplava to the line, goes P6 at the moment. Oh, Halty, a little squirrely out the final corner. That's put him round. Jamie Brazier then, who's not set a lap time yet, now goes P3. Dan's to the line, and he's going to improve. No, he doesn't, stays P4. Fury's to the line. He only goes P5. D Biggs next to cross the line, then he's got to get a lap time in. Doesn't at the moment. Car number 11 next up, Peaceful Explosion. Is he on any better of a lap before car 74 Ukbar will get to the line and have his say? No improvement for Peaceful there. What about Ukbar? Can he get a lap time on the board? No, he cannot at the minute. So 52 minutes. And I felt last night, Bozzy, driving this, that the first half of the session really went quick and really sort of was done before I felt like I'd done anything. Yeah.
Yeah, It was quite a good night, quite a fast night in all fairness, 'cause I believe I actually said the same thing to Dan. He just went really quick, and then obviously he was like, race? I was like, whoa, got some, I wasn't told this in the job description.
No improvement then for cars coming across the line. Here comes car number 29 of Emplave. No, sorry, it was car 20 of Exit Tibbs. Still no lap time for him. Next is car 29 of Emplave. He's off. He's stopping to the side of the grass. So it'll be 79 of Big Boy Brazier. The next one to cross the line. Currently 6/10 off the back of Overtaker's time. And it's interesting to see what people are running here, Bozzy, because, you know, low fuel quali runs or your high fuel race runs. What's the strategy? As Jamie, 5/10 now off the back. Car number 13 next to set a lap time. That will be Fury. He comes to the line now, goes second fastest and improves once again. Before car 96 of D Biggs. So we are just awaiting Smoky Devil and Gary 131. Obviously Gary is unwell, so if Gary isn't with us, we obviously understand why. Tibbs leaving the pit lane. Now this is what I mean about Tibbs leaving the pit lane. He's got a clear track behind him. If we go on board. If Peaceful was any closer, he would have had to have waited and let Peaceful go. Now what he can't do here is block Peaceful either. Jamie and Holty in the pits. Now we've got a car coming in, I believe. That is Smoky Devil who's joining the session. So he's missed 10 minutes. That's not going to matter to him. It's all about getting his lap time in.
It is.
So he's in the session.
Yeah, even knowing he's now in the session, he can do his lap time still, and obviously it just means he's got less time to actually do it.
He's only lost 10 minutes. That's not too bad. But he's allowed the other guys to rubber the track in for him a little bit here. And I said last night that track evolution was quite big last night, I noticed. So, yeah, that one's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. Next driver to the line will be Fury once again before car 29 of Emplave. Now, one thing I've noticed, Buzzy, you tend to try and go a bit quicker when there's lap times to be competitive around and beat.
Yep.
These guys out there tonight have all got close competitive lap times to beat. I felt last night that I'd kind of set the pace, did enough to be in pro and sort of kind of stopped a little bit, tried a few different things on the car. Tonight could be different because there's so many competitive drivers out there that are all going to want to be that number one position. I think we're going to see my time get smashed tonight.
Yeah, there is the potential of that. I mean, there's always the potential of that. I can't remember who said it, but I know there was a driver that's actually said that whenever you... I might say it very wrong. Basically, there's more time in a car. Even if you... Like, for example, you could do your time, and there's even more time in it. You get someone else who does even faster, there's more time, and if there's always more time in that car, you've just really got to hit the nail on the head, and yeah, there's a lot of potential out there.
Seeing that quicker lap time kind of motivates yourself, doesn't it, to go quicker?
It does, yeah.
For the other drivers seeing Overtaker at the minute on a 45 dead, he's kind of motivating them to, right, well, can I do that? Can I do a 45 dead? Can I do quicker? So that's going to motivate them at the moment. Let's take a look at the current timetable standings. So there is the standings for you at the moment. You see, we said the cutoff's around a 47. Now, Plava's a 47.6. Ukbar's a 47.3. This could put Ukbar in pro at the moment with Sutty a 48.3. PN a 48.6. Holty, Biggs, Tibbs and Smokey yet to set a lap time. Biggs and Tibbs have done 4 laps. Holty's not actually completed a single lap at the moment. Smokey is out on track as Plava chucks himself into P6 there.
Yep, nice. Just watched him go across the line. I know Fury was behind, went a little bit too wide, and I presume he invalidated his lap time.
Holty back in the pit lane. So the lap times from last night is a 44.8 from myself, which will pretty much put anybody in pro if you hit the 44s. I reckon a 45.46 will put you in pro. Max Mulder was at a 47.4. Now, at the moment, that would put Max Mulder on the list, a 47.4. That will put Max Mulder 11th on the list. Kieran was at a 46.4. That would put him 12th on the list. Suttier 47.934 would put him 13th. Kelly would then be 14th on that list. Now, we said that there was pretty much 14 drivers in each category at the moment waiting for other sign-ups. Now, Gary not doing a lap time tonight, obviously with him being unwell, means that there is still a chance that someone could be lower and Gary could be a lot higher than that. But at the moment, it is looking okay for certain drivers. Others, like Kieran, Kelly and Max, could be on that cut-off, Liam, of being in that pro category.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of potential in every driver. That's a fact that you can't not say. Every driver has potential to do really good. It's just sometimes you'll get it in bursts, sometimes you might, like for yourself, you might get it all the time, or so on and so forth. And I think Argent's one of those. I know obviously he was in the pro and then went into pro-am and basically let every single teammate of his own just win, pretty much. He's been nice.
He was. Sorry, I'm just typing in the names, so we've got it down as admins of who's done what lap times. I'm just typing their names in on a spreadsheet now.
As I've also noticed quite a lot as well during this session, there's a lot more people getting invalidated lap times. I know I keep seeing a lot of people crossing the line getting invalid laps. And you know someone's really pushing when they start to get invalid laps, because you know that they're really trying to find a limit when it comes to track limits.
Well, there was
trying to find their place with the car.
There was 4 drivers who hadn't done a lap time. Tibbs has now put a lap time in, and that could be good enough to put him in the pro category. At the moment, he's gone quicker than Peaceful and Monkey Boy, so we'll have to see what they do. But a 46.7 is currently quick enough to put him in that category of pro. I'd say so. So D-Biggs, Holty and Smokey don't love the Gulf livery. I think we've spoke about it before, Boz. The Gulf livery is one of the nicest liveries. And it doesn't matter what car it's on, it always looks nice.
Yeah, the Gulf livery is quite a nice livery. I know it's classically one of the more McLaren-esque kind of liveries. But it does look nice on any other car that you can put it on, I know. And yeah, it looks quite nice on the Porsche. I know Porsche was one of the cars which wasn't actually, in fact, on the track last night as well.
Yeah, as was Audi. So Audi and Porsche.
So, yeah.
Aston Martin? Was there an Aston on the track last night? I don't think there was there?
Not.
There was a Lexus in Smithy, but so an Aston, a Lexus, an Aston, an Audi, and a Porsche out there tonight as Tibbs crosses the line, and no improvement there then. So out of the 3 drivers that's got no lap time in at the moment, it's Holty towards the back end of the lap. So we'll see if he can get a lap time in. Let's go on board Holty here. And I reckon he's just running the default. Yeah, I think he's just got the default overalls and helmet on at the moment. But he has customised into a lovely looking McLaren colour there. Is that blue and yellow, or is that blue and green? I'm not quite sure.
Blue and green on my screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
Very chromatic kind of.
Yeah, I wonder if it is a yellow that's gone chrome and it's made it look green.
Yeah, it might be the reflection of the sun.
Because I know that when I had a Bentley one and I've made it gold but chrome. Now this, look, here we go. Ukbar's coming out the pit lane. Ukbar's got a yield here, and I believe he has. And yes, he has. So there we go. Oh, Holty very deep into turn 1 there, and that's kind of ruined Overtaker's lap through no fault of his own. Here comes D-Biggs then, looking to get his first lap time on the board, and still struggles to get that on. Yeah, still struggles to get that lap time on the board. Smokey Devil caught up in a little traffic. Now I've seen Smokey Devil every now and again in these sessions. This guy looks quick at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. He's put a lap time in. Nothing special, but hey, there's time to improve. You've still got another 41 minutes to actually improve that time.
Obviously, we go back 2 years, Bozzy, as to when we did this on Project Cars 2. 2 years ago, not to the day, but 2 years ago, we ran an hour session there. I think we ran it around Donington Park, and that was interesting to see. Around here, Catalonia, that you and Dan spoke about it, very kind of even circuit. Slow sections, quick sections, bit of straights for the top speedy, more cars. But what do we think of this track, Catalonia? We see it a lot, Formula One testing and other things. What do we think to Catalonia as a track?
An alright track. There's not really much I can say about it which is a negative. I think in terms of as a driver, you just rock up to any track and you'll just try your best at it, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're on a track you hate, one you love. It doesn't matter. You'll always try and give the best performance you possibly can. Yeah,
I agree. As we joined now, as well as Overtaker actually goes and does a 45.000, so bang on a 145. We're joined by Kieran Argent as well now, and good evening to Kieran.
Evening.
We well?
Yeah, not bad. I thought I'd come and join you.
Yeah, indeed. Smoky Devil there just jumps on the gravel a little bit. 3 Audis out there tonight, Bozzy. A little bit of a surprise for me. Now, Biggs has just gone and pumped a lap time in, actually, and he's gone 2.8 off the back of the pace, but puts himself ahead of Sooty Apex. Now, again, Bozzy, we talk about his 147 being that cut-off time at the moment. Biggs puts himself in that 147 mark, putting himself on that borderline of Pro-Am.
Yeah, I know obviously D Biggs is one that's always been in the Pro, I believe. Yeah. I don't think he actually has been in the Pro-Am, so if it does end up being in Pro-Am, it'll be the first time since he started at Simply that it was actually in the Pro-Am, and I think we've seen what he's like on Project Cars 2, and he can be quite fast when you put him in the right machine. Machine. Yeah, there you go, that word.
3-time Constructors champion, obviously with Dan, twice in the Porsche, once in the McLaren, so he's a race winner at Simplay as well. In fact, do you know what? Let me load up the stats page so we can go through drivers' statistics. I don't know if Dan did this last night, but you see, let me load up these stats. You see, Buzzy? Dan doesn't do this.
Stats up, no.
You know why, don't you? Because he's not professional. Sort of get that one in there?
Yeah, I knew you would do that at some point tonight.
You must feel honoured. Both of you too.
I mean, I feel something. Honoured is not the word.
So let's start off with our current defending champion at GT3s at the moment, Overtaker. 40 appearances to his name at Simplay Motorsport. He's got 16 race wins, 14 pole positions. He's been on the podium 32 times. Great stats for a man with not even 50 races under his belt yet. And Kieran Overtaker is a man that just exudes the amount of confidence he has in his pace, and it shows.
Yeah. Go on then.
No, it's alright, Kieran.
Okay, Faye, he showed his confidence last evening of what happened in the season before last. To come back and then just wipe the floor of everyone the following season. He just built with confidence and taken the title from it.
I'm actually happy to say that I am the only one to have beaten Overtaker. I'd just like to point that one out there. Dan hasn't beat him yet, so I'd like to, just for the record, can we have that one, Buzzy?
I'd also like to put it out there as well that you've still lost to him.
Yeah, I've lost to him, but I'm the only one who's beaten him at the moment. Dan hasn't beaten him yet. I'd just like to put that one out there. In terms of Fury CBK, the man that's always been a bridesmaid, never the bride. He's a man who's our third most race starts at Simplay Motorsport. 201 to his name. He's got 34 wins, the second most amount of race wins at Simplay Motorsport. 15 pole positions, and he's been on the podium 77 times. Liam, Fury. In fact, actually, no, I'll ask Kieran this question, because you've teamed with him and won a Constructors title with him. He won Pro-Am with you in Season 3, won the Constructors' Championship with you. He's a man that gets better season after season.
Like with anyone, the more you drive a car, the more you get used to it, the more you drive a game, you get better at it. Faye's always been up there, whatever league he's been in. I think he was unlucky to get demoted or relegated from Pro the season he dropped down to Pro-Am. I think it was the season he changed car halfway through. He just couldn't get on with the Ferrari or the Porsche. So. Like I say, he found a home in the Mercedes, and that's what he stuck with until now.
has always struggled at times on project cars. 78 race appearances he's made at Simplay Motorsport. He's only had 5 race wins to his name, 7 pole positions, and a man that's only been on the podium 16 times. Liam, for a guy that's had 78 races to his name and a guy that's always had pace, them wins, poles and podiums are very little.
Yeah, they are very little, and I know there's obviously people with less race starts, and there's other people with more race starts. I know obviously you have had a very limited amount, but even with your limited amount, you've managed to get a lot. There's obviously other people that might struggle more. There's other people that might find it easy. There's other people that might even just be here for the casual fun about it. But there's obviously those few that are quite competitive.
Yeah, 100%. Now we go to this man, Mr. 6 times himself, 3 Constructors' Championships, 6 Drivers' Championships to his name at Simplay Motorsport. And in fact, actually, Jamie's just gone 3rd fastest, so we'll jump back to Jamie in a moment. But Mr. 6 times, Dan on Orthodubs, to 166 race starts, 52 race wins, 26 pole positions, and 114 podiums. I mean, guys, we don't really need to mention this guy's credentials. What he's got down on paper and what he can do in a car, it speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and that obviously that's not going to change. It's only going to go up. That's a fact. You can only do better after so long, and he's one that's going to try and always do better.
Kieran, thoughts on Dan? Obviously, like I say, the credentials are there on his CV in terms of racing.
Yeah, you can't deny it. As I say, he's one of them that's on every night practicing, trying to improve himself. So I know it's not possible for everyone to get on, including myself at the moment. But you know, the more you practice, the quicker you'll get.
Yeah, the reward pays off. While Jamie's still in the pit lane, let's talk about exit tips. Now, a relatively new guy, joined in Formula 2s. He did Summer Pro-Am last season. 16 race starts to his name. Obviously, he got the 2 the other night in Formula 1. Never won a race. Don't think has had a pole position. Just looking through the list. May have had he's got 1 pole position to his name. Apologies. Never had a win, but he's been on the podium 3 times. Now, 16 race starts, 3 podiums, 1 pole position. But a guy, again, that looks like the more he seems to be in and around the league and the channel and the community, he seems to slowly be growing in confidence.
Yeah,
Oh, go on then.
Sorry, no, it's alright, Karen.
I was about to say, the more you drive with certain drivers, the quicker you'll get as well. You've got to learn to trust people around you a bit more as well.
It was Dan, goes 2nd place. Overtaker does beat the time of last night, dips into the 44.6s then, so he does beat last night's time by 0.2 of a second, and that 0.2 is to Dan and Fury. Now we go down to Emplava, and a guy who's where is he? He's made 70 race appearances. He's only got 5 race wins to his name, 6 pole positions to his name, but has 25 podiums. We know what Emplava's like. He's our little Latvian friend. We love him to bits, and he's just a good driver. He's nothing, he doesn't strike you as one of the top drivers, but he gets good results week in, week out.
Yeah, like I said earlier, every driver is going to really push for those results, and some are more capable than others, and Emplava's definitely one that can upset a few people on his day.
He really can.
It just showed during the season you had with him in Pro-Am, you and him were fighting pretty much all season.
Well, I go back to that season. Plava at the start wasn't actually anywhere around at the first 2 or 3 events. And then the more he sort of got on and raced with the people, really came, and battled hard. And I think it took him most of the season. He went to Long Beach, which, if I remember right, it was the back part of the season, before he took his first race win, as Mike just goes off. So we won't speak about Mike at the minute, but we'll speak about the Team Dynamics Halfords Bentley of Monkey Boy. 162 race starts to his name. Again, a champion and Constructors' Champion, Season 2 Pro-Am. He's got 7 race wins to his name. He's got 7 pole positions to his name as well on 29 podiums. Kieran, similar question to the Fury one, really. You teamed with him, won a Constructors and a Drivers' Championship with him. Tell us more about Monkey Boy.
Yeah, who haven't I teamed with won a title? Yeah, no, like I say, similar to Fury, like I say, he helped me a lot. It's the first season I had the wheel, so I can't really fault him there. But yeah, he just, like I say, won at the point he won on most nights, being consistent, and ultimately that's what won a title against me, Joe, and Liam.
Yeah, yes, I forgot actually. That was in your season, yeah, was it? Wasn't it, where he just picked you to the title in that season? The Flying Dutchman's gone into the pits. We'll go to Smokey Devil then, who's a man who's up there in the start of this. 161, 1 appearance behind Monkey Boy. Now, race wins. Smokey Devil's only actually had 2 to his name. In terms of pole positions, Smokey has had 4 and has had 18 podiums. So 161 race starts. But them stats don't really suggest... Smokey spent a lot of time in Pro-Am as well, let's not forget. Them stats don't really reflect how good Smokey has been in Pro-Am.
I'm trying to think. Smokey Devil, yeah, you know, he's in Pro-Am with a few seasons, especially in the middle part of the Project Cars reign. In the Porsche with Alfie, I remember one season.
Yeah, Mercedes with Phil.
Mercedes with Phil, he's, you know, I think that may be why he's never got promoted, because he was with a different car every season and not found a home.
Do you reckon that's the reason to be...
Potentially.
His stats not being as high as others?
Maybe, because I say, like what I found when I eventually come out the Mercedes into the Audi, I did struggle.
Yeah, that's true. Mr. Grazie della Grazie, Sutty Apex then, who is the man of the send it, if you will. He's 6 appearances short of his 150th. He's got, actually, I'm struggling to find his race wins on here. He's got 12 race wins to his name. In terms of pole positions, he's got 7, but he has got 32 podiums. Now, he nearly won season 1. If he didn't miss a week, he probably would have challenged Gary a little harder for season 1. But he's the man of the send it. He's the man of the pad back in the day, who no longer can drive on the pad. He loves everything Italian. To see him in the Ferrari and to hear them kind of stats, we know what Sutty's like. He loves it. Not a big drinker, but he loves it.
Not a big... No, of course he does. We all know what Sutty's like. He's quite a good driver. He's obviously got the stats to obviously back himself up with that. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what he can do on ACC as well.
Yeah, it is indeed. Now sorry, go on.
Okay, talking of Sutty, currently comparing lap times to last night, from Smokey Devil down, Fatty Apex up rather, all beat time from last night with the exception of your time.
What's Sutty beat? What's Sutty's time at the minute?
Fatty's time is currently 1:47.2.
Yes.
Fastest lap time with other than yourself for 47.4.
47.4, yeah. So there we go then. So Sutty has improved. The pirouette himself! And we catch it on stream! He does a pirouette. Did he get contact from Halty there? Not too sure. Mr. Pirouette himself then. Number 5 on the all-time appearance list, 179, the same as Welshing. Most famous for not just pirouetting, but for taking the first ever win at Simplay Motorsport in a Mercedes at Silverstone. And let me tell you now, folks, he will not let you forget that stat. 2 race winners to his name. Only the 2. Both on a Logitech G29, I think, as well. I don't think he's won a race since he's had his Fanatec. So, Mike, I'm up for a trade if you want.
Does that not mean you won't win anymore, though?
Because there are drivers and screwdrivers, do you know what I mean? He has got 11 pole positions to his name. I'm sure he'd like that stat a bit higher. And if we worked it out in Q1 and Q2, he's possibly got more Q2 poles, which, again, I'm sure he'd like to rectify that one. But Mike has had 16 podiums to his name. Now, he's a master of a pirouette. But again, it's another one he's been around since day one. He won the first race. His stats don't necessarily reflect how good a driver Mike on his day can be.
No, we obviously know what Mike can be like on the track, and again, it's someone else that can upset a few drivers when he's actually on track, as long as he doesn't spin it.
It's probably what's upsetting him.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
he pirouettes. They catch him as he's pirouetting. Bang, game over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be worth. Could be on a warm-up lap. You know.
Oh, nah. I didn't say that, Mike. Kieran did.
I was talking about your spin on the pit.
Well,
Your
hey.
spin on the lap.
But I come back to win that race. That was the difference. We are joined now by Dan on Orthodox himself, who's currently half a second off the back of Overtaker, who's done a 44.3 now. No one likes a show-off Overtaker. Just call it a day there, my friend. But Dan, how's it going? You've obviously changed to the Porsche, it looks like.
Yeah, it's alright so far. I had to have a moment where obviously there's a group of us in the party and I just could not hear the car, could not think. So decided to leave the party for a minute and just try and focus on the lap time. And gone for the Porsche.
Old Faithful.
Yeah, Old Faithful. Everyone knows the Lamborghini's what I've been driving recently. And I just couldn't gel with it tonight. I just couldn't get on with it. I had a quick go in this beforehand, just for qualification, so I thought it'd be safe to go in a car that kind of suits my driving style a bit better.
Yeah.
So, only briefly tested it, but before any of this started happening, we were obviously playing around with cars right at the beginning of playing ACC, and I could not drive this car at all, and now I can. So it's let's go back home and see how it feels to be back in a Porsche, and I'll tell you what, it feels absolutely lovely.
Now, you're a man that we all know, and for those viewers that don't know, you detested this game.
Yep.
You detested it. You're starting to gel with it, though, it looks like. And how do you feel now on this game? How do you feel now you've started to get, as Fury's actually just gone second fastest, how do you feel now? You've got some laps behind your belt. You've played it a lot more than normal. What's your thoughts now?
I mean, it's all right. I mean, for me, graphics and for showcase, it's terrible. I feel like that needs work. But other than that, it's all right. Once you learn how to drive it and feel and have a nice kind of car choice that you feel comfortable in, it's all right. But yeah, it's for the show aspect, I feel like they could improve. But at the end of the day, it's about as close to sim racing as we can get. And it's all right. It's okay.
Talk us through your goals, though, tonight, Dan. Obviously, it looks like you've pretty much cemented that place in pro. What else? What's the goals for this season? What's the goals now that you kind of know you're going to be in the pro? You look like you know you're going to be up against. What's the goals?
Back on the top step, hopefully. Overtaker's had it too comfortable for a while.
Yes.
And I feel like last season in Project Cars, I was a bit struggling in the Audi. The Audi was a car that was definitely underpowered, and I couldn't really fight with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like whoever I'm partnering up this season, no matter who it is, what it is, I will be going in a car that I feel strong and confident in, and I will be coming for that title. I haven't won on ACC. The only thing I have won is the GT4 race.
Yeah.
So it's if I could finish in the top half, and if so, focus on top three. That's kind of the goal. Try and take it to the quick boys yourself, Overtaker, Fury, in whatever car I feel comfortable in.
Obviously, the tracks this year, Dan, we look at the calendar, we've got some new tracks like Zandvoort, Misano, Paul Ricard, two of them tracks you know from racing Formula 1. Misano, though, unless have played ACC or you're a bike fan, nobody knows a lot about. Are we excited for this calendar this year? What's our thoughts on it?
I mean, everybody knows most of the tracks that are on it, and they're very challenging tracks, especially on this game. The Zandvoort track hasn't got a lot of banks; it's more flat than the F1 game, so that's a whole different aspect. Zolder in this game is going to be interesting. It's tight, curbs are huge. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. But I am actually genuinely looking forward to Misano. I've had a quick go on it and had a feel on it, and it feels like my kind of circuit, where you have to be patient, take your time, and be in a flow with it.
Yeah, suits your driving style down to a T. I did have a next question. I have lost my train of thought here. Anybody else got a question for Dan? In the chat, do you have a question for Dan?
I have a quick question for Dan. I'm not going to say who, but obviously we know you potentially got a teammate ready for next season. If you both manage to get into pro, which looks like it will be. Are you going to try and convince him to the Porsche, or are you going to Stick with what you know.
Well, it's the worst kept secret, I think, that people kind of got an idea of who I'm possibly partnering with. They have driven the Porsche, and they started to like it a little bit. It's a little bit different to the Project Cars Porsche, which I think until people actually get the hang of it, they won't understand the differences between it. But I think it's not out of the question. But the other car that they are using is definitely a car that I like as well. So there's options to choose from.
You're on the fence as it stands.
Yeah, it's a there's no option that we can't pick that will not make us competitive.
Oh, there we go.
Still to discuss. Obviously, a month until the season.
Yeah.
So talking of drivers in this car, you've not got Gary 131's not yet joined the session. I've just noticed.
No, Gary's currently ill. So we'll obviously have to look at any newcomers that sign up to the league, as there is still some spots available, and Gary will obviously have to get his qualifying lap time in at a later date. Obviously, we've got till the 22nd and 23rd of Feb. Obviously, the closing date for sign-ups will be a bit earlier than that, Dan. But like you say, two cars in mind, or is there a few more you're looking at?
I mean, there was other one I was looking at, but I just don't think it's competitive enough, not in Pro anyway. I would love to run the Lexus.
Yeah.
But I just want to see new cars, different cars.
Yeah.
But if I go for a championship, then you got to be kind of realistic and see what's really plausible.
Yeah.
But the Lexus was something I was actually really liking and enjoying. But again, like I said, it's just not quick enough.
Yeah, like you say, you want to fight for a championship. You ought to be in something that you feel can do you the job and can get you across the line. Speaking of Porsche, we didn't see any last night. Tibbs is out there, currently sat P6, quicker than Mike and Monkey Boy and Emplava and Sutty Apex. Does that surprise you a little bit?
A little bit, as these boys they're kind of screaming and shouting in the party at the minute. They're not getting it together. But yeah, Tibbs looks good in the Porsche. I mean, I haven't really checked the tables. What's it, third now? So yeah, I think it's all about development, really. People just got to learn what they feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
And
well, Dan,
I see Tibbs kicking the Porsche.
Yeah, well, Dan, we'll let you get back to it, mate. We'll let you carry on and concentrate a little bit. Who was we on? Jamie's gone back to the pit, so we'll go back. The credentials of D. Biggs. 3-time Constructors Champion with unorthodox himself. 153 race starts to his name now. Got cursed by me back in season 4? Season 4, I want to say. Yeah, I am.
Oh,
very.
at a moment.
Ooh. Go on to that.
Coming onto the back straight.
Interesting. Out of everybody's way, it looks like, and he carries on his way now. 4D Biggs, though, he's only got, and this one surprises me, 153 race starts. D Biggs, where is he on this list? 3 race wins to his name, which surprises me a little bit. In terms of his pole positions, again, I'm struggling to find him on the list. Is that many drivers listed? But I am struggling to find D. Biggs on this list.
Only problem with D,
he's got 6.
He's always
sorry,
been pro. He's never dropped down to pro-am.
6 pole positions to his name, and in terms of podiums, only 29. But like you say, Kieran, always in pro, never in pro-am. Do you think that's his problem? He's had Dan as a teammate as well, and we know that teaming with Dan on the grid has been a very daunting task because Dan has been one of the better drivers the later stages of Project Cars 2.
Especially being with Dan as well, Dan fighting for the championship. I can't remember if it ever happened, but he may well have had to play the team game at times to give Dan the extra points for the title, for the championship as well, playing off, you know. I can't remember top of my head if that ever happened, but it potentially could have done.
We go to PM Motorsport now, and a man who comes into this season, he's 3 appearances away from his 50th, never had a race win, he's had 1 pole position to his name, and has had, where is he? I believe, multiple podiums. He's had 2 podiums in 50 races. But PN, he admitted he didn't really get on with Project Cars 2. He admitted stuff like that. But this guy's a guy that, he's a bit like Smithy. He doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. He always gets to the end of the race.
Yeah, I've not had much dealing with PN Motorsport other than on the F1 games. I've not really had much with him, to be fair. So can't really comment.
And then we move to Holty down the bottom end of the list, who's currently sat in a wall. Doesn't look like he's currently at his wheel at the moment. And if we find Holty, 72 race starts to his name. He's got 6 race wins. He's got 9 pole positions, and he's been on the podium 16 times. And again, another man that spent a lot of his time in Pro-Am. He just never seemed to have the rub of the green, did he, at times? He never seemed to have the luck go his way.
No, often, you know, the always the bridesmaid never the bride. I always managed to get a few podiums here and there, but didn't get many race wins, if I remember.
And then we go to Big Boy Brazier, 112 race starts, 29 race wins, 25 pole positions and 60 podiums. Season 1 Pro-Am champion again. Another man that we know, and he's a pad man, same as Overtaker and Smithy and PN Motorsport, people like that. He's a man that is a quick driver, and you can't ever rule out Jamie from a win.
No, I feel like we found last night with Smithy, it's not really a pad game, but Jamie seems to make it work.
Have we got Bozzy there, or is Bozzy not there at the moment?
Not heard him for a
No,
while.
I'm here.
He is here. Liam, Jamie. Talk to me about Jamie a little bit. Obviously, we just heard from Kieran there. A man that's always up for a race win, and you always have to put Jamie in that contention, don't you? If when you speak of who could win this championship, Jamie always seems to crop up.
Yeah, obviously he blasted through season 1 when it came to Project Cars 2. Obviously, with the internet issues, it obviously didn't make it as clear cut as I can imagine he was wanting. But Jamie as a whole is a really quick driver. There's a lot of potential in him. There's obviously there's definitely a world championship. There's definitely a Simplay championship in him.
There is.
Yeah.
Well, currently Overtaker 144.2. That is the benchmark to beat them. Fury's a 44.7. Dan's a 44.8. And like Kieran said, Smokey up. In fact, it's now Sooty Apex up. That are all beating last night's times, Bozzy. D Big's just on that cusp of last night's times. He's close to Argent and Max Mulder, as is PM Motorsport. Holty, though, in the 150s, not yet on the pace of the guys, but is quick. Is in fact a 10th slower than DJ Phil at the moment.
Who was that again?
Holty.
Sorry. Holty, yeah. Holty, another good driver, to be fair. I know I say it about a lot of the guys. I think everyone's a really good driver deep down. It's just obviously they've really got to be able to get that, get the potential out themselves. But yeah, Holty, quite a good driver. Obviously, he's came up from the Pro into the Pro, and now it's coming into ACC, and it's really down to can he stay in the Pro, or is he coming back down to the Pro-Am to have to fight his way back up to the Pro?
We go on board this guy and look at his red, yellow and white helmet with his black overalls and his green gloves in the glorious Bentley car. Beautiful colour scheme as well. Monkey Boy really kind of shocking me tonight. I expected his pace to be a little higher, but at the moment, not going that way. Liam, peaceful as well, out being outdone by Tibbs. They just don't seem to have got a lap together at the moment.
No, I know that sometimes it can be hard. Sometimes it's a bit of a back and forth kind of thing. You've really got to try your hardest to get it pinpoint, but at the end of the day, you can only do what you can do, and that's what he's trying to do.
Indeed, he is at the moment. So we'll see what Monkey Boy can do later in this session. Sorry, just trying to help Holty out at the moment. He just says in the chat that he's struggling with the car. So Fury in the pits, Dan third, Jamie's fourth. Disco's not far off the back of him. Tibbs currently parked up and returns to the pit lane. Peaceful now goes... Peaceful still 7th with Plava in 8th. Monkey Boy 9th. Ukbar 10th at the minute with Smoky Devil 11th. Sooty Apex down in 12th at the minute. Struggling.
Yeah, that's quite a shock to me, to be fair, because I know Sooty Apex is one of those drivers that you'd really expect to be able to just be on, drive it, and just be straight in pro, but sometimes you get drivers where they'll struggle when it comes to doing some of these things, and it looks like he is going to be the culprit for that tonight.
And this is the bonus of this new beautiful game, Buzzy, is the fact that you can't just jump in these cars and drive them straight away. Like Dan said, it is a more sim-realistic game. It's the closest sim racing we're going to get on console. The work and time has to go into it, otherwise you're really going to struggle.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, sometimes you got drivers, sometimes you got screwdrivers.
Ukbar then, never been in pro, but could he qualify in this pro category tonight? That's an interesting thing to notice. Just under 11 minutes left in the session, and he's not doing bad so far, but a couple of drivers go a bit quicker than him. Will that change the standings, if you will? Smoky Devil stopped out on track at the moment. I expect we're going to see him return to the pit lane. No, he gets back going now, so must have just had a little moment. Monkey Boy, the next man to the line. And the Bentley, probably the biggest car we've seen out on track both nights. The tank, as we like to call it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I think Fury referred to it as the Titanic the other day.
He did. It's no M4, though.
No, nothing.
I will admit this. I do like the M4. I do enjoy the M4. It is nice. As Monkey Boy crosses the line, no improvement for him there. What about Peaceful Explosion then? Smoky Devil returns to the pits. Holty's still in the pits as well. Final 10 minutes to the session. Peaceful, no improvement for him. Car number 74 or 9, which is Jamie. It's not Jamie. Who's 74? It's Ukbar. Can he improve as he comes towards the line? Then 10 minutes left of this session. And there is no improvement there for Ukbar. Next is Jamie, car number 79. And he goes to the line. He doesn't improve. PN Motorsport, 3.6 down at the moment. Stays 3.6 down. Car number 14 is Overtaker. Will he improve on his lap time? No. Spins. Cuts pit entry. Well, that's not the place to really park it. But he's returned to the garage quickly. Sooty Apex then needs to improve on his current lap times. He's got Disco just behind him, so keep eyes on Disco's time as well as Sooty. Sooty, no improvement. Disco goes second place. So the track started to get a little quicker maybe, and Plava doesn't improve. Car number 11 is that. No, it's number 16 of Dan, who's trying to find 6/10, just under 6/10 of a second. Disco going up to second, Bozzy, showing the Ferrari's got the pace.
Yeah, well, we already know that the Ferrari's got pace. I know it's one of the more favourite cars by some of these drivers. I know, obviously, we did the poll yesterday and it was the Ferrari. I do not know what the poll, because I don't know if you've done the same poll, but if you did, I don't know what came out of that one.
Ferrari was the best car.
Yeah, there you go. The Ferrari is a very much like car, and it's quite a fast car, to be fair. I think the car can be underestimated by a few people. I know it's another one I would suggest for newer drivers, but I find it's quite a stable car as a whole.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Dan then didn't improve on his time. Car number 74 is coming to the final couple of corners. That is Ukbar. And he doesn't improve there. Car 79, that's Jamie Brazier. Does he find any more time? 7.5 minutes left, Bozzy. So we're coming to the nitty-gritty end of the session. Biggs, I think, has had a moment. So has Holty. So them two aren't going to improve on their lap. Overtaker, he's on a lap currently. Getting down to the nitty-gritty end of this session, though, Bozzy, at the moment. And, I think the real big surprises. D-Big's new to the game, so he possibly will need time to learn it. That's why he could possibly be in Pro-Am. But Sooty, in the pits with 7 minutes left, you'd really want to be out there on track. He's just come back out on track. He's the one that I think is shocking more people at the moment.
Yeah, I would have been. Ow. I would have expected him to be more up there. To be fair, as we actually know what Sooty Apex is is like, and it's a shame to see him so far down. But you know what they say: with the downs comes the ups.
Yeah. Monkey Boy's gone in quicker than an Plava. Peaceful Monkey Boy, Smoky, Fury in the pits. Dan crosses the line, no improvement. Tibbs crosses the line, no improvement there. Then car 66 of PM Motorsport, the next one to cross the line.
Yeah.
And PN tested the Bentley a lot in this off season. Got to grips with the Bentley, loves the Bentley, really enjoys the Bentley, but has said that he's found he's quicker in this car. Needs 0.3 of a second to go quicker than Biggs. Doesn't find any more pace there. What about Ukbar? Can he find any more time at the moment then? Here comes the Dutchman. And down the start line he comes, across the line he goes. No more time found there. D Biggs next to the line. I don't know what you're doing, but you're breathing down your microphone quite heavily.
I apologise.
Yeah, you will. Biggs and Holty to the line. What can they do? Can they improve their lap times here? Here comes Biggs. Nothing from him at the moment. Holty as well does improve a little bit, so goes a little bit quicker. And he's now 5.6 off the back, so has upped his pace at the moment. Overtaker next to the line behind him is Disco McDisco Face. So 1 and 2 currently in this session. An overtaker, no improvement. Disco McDisco Face, no improvement. Car number 12, Sooty Apex. Is this his outlap, Liam? I can't remember. I believe it is.
I'm not 100% sure in all fairness.
Well, he doesn't improve, so we'll say it was his outlap. Let's go on board Sooty Apex and for this lap time. Let's go on his dashboard camera. Just getting the car a little slidey through turn 2. You see his Delta in the top left corner. He's currently down on his lap time at the moment. Has found a lot of time though through there. He's found 2/10 through there. Oh, big wiggle. And that's his lap time invalid. And he really needs to make sure that he can get a lap time in here. He's struggling to get the times in. Sooty and Fury in the pit lane. And I think Fury might be done for the session. Jamie to the line. No improvement. Yellow flag being waved there. Not sure why. D Biggs coming to the line. Wants it. Or coming to the final chicane once again. He's got Emplava just behind him. And I believe Holty just behind Emplava. Indeed, he is. D Biggs to the line. No improvement. What about Emplava? I don't think he improved. Holty to the line. Doesn't find any more time there either. Car number 86 is Disco. He's next to cross the line. And Disco doesn't find any time there. Dan, what can he do around here? Sooty still in the pit lane, Bozzy, with 3 minutes left. Now, oh no, he's not. Sorry, Tibbs and Fury still in the pit lane with 3 minutes left. Now, that isn't really where you want to be, although I think Fury and Tibbs might be fine to be in pro. Dan doesn't improve on his lap time. Then car 4, Monkey Boy, as Emplava jumps back in between himself and Peaceful. So Monkey Boy now drops back behind Emplava by some 0.4 of a second. Here comes Monkey Boy. No improvement then. Car behind him was car 22. That is Smokey, who's gone above Ukbar now. So Ukbar dropping down a place at the moment. Car 66, that's PN. So time's starting to improve late on in this session, Liam.
Yeah, well, with obviously the track now being at the right temperature and obviously it being the most rubbered in that it actually can before the end of the session, your times are going to really come down now. And obviously, I believe you did a 44.4.
Yeah, 44.8 late in the session, yeah.
And obviously, as you can tell, and I know you obviously said earlier on in the session, people's going to be pushing to beat your time, and I
The best thing
believe-
is, there was only 3 drivers that really improved their times, and that was myself, Max, and Argent improved their times. Not a lot of others improved their times late on in this session. So are we going to see the same thing tonight? Halty to the line, no improvement there. As car 86 of Disco, can he find any more time? Car 12 of Sutty's coming round, but I think this was the lap Sutty invalid, or was this his out lap? Right, Sutty's on a lap now. Let's keep an eye on Sutty's time. Let's go on board his bonnet view. Just up by just under a tenth at the minute, Bozzy, is Sutty Apex. And this time gets it through turn 4 fine. Oh, he's a little wiggly on the exit again. Just manages to keep it within track limits. He's lost, though, 2 tenths. And he was just losing that rear mid-corner there, Bozzy.
Yeah,
and you feel this is going to be his last lap, you feel?
Yeah, it's going to be in... I believe he's... in the 47s, I believe it is.
He is indeed. Fury is done then, so that is his lap time in the bank, and that is a 1:44. Sutty's done. Sutty stopped the car. So Sutty's in the pits, so let's take a look at his lap time then. That is a 1:47.274. So Sutty then could be right on the cusp. Disco also in the pit lane. Bozzy, just tell me who else in the pit lane, 'cause I can't quite see. In a moment. So just type Disco's timing of a 1:44.673. Who else is in there?
We've got Fury in there as
Yeah,
well.
got him.
Exit Tibbs.
Tibbs, a 1:45.621. Even though I've just put that in on Jamie's. Hang on. Yeah, who else? Peaceful in the pits. With a 1:46.032. Yeah.
Sutty Apex.
Got Sutty.
Yep, and PM Motorsport.
PN, so a 1:47.925. Just put that in on Monkey Boys. So
a lot more drivers also coming in now. We've also now
Monkey Boys.
Biggs.
Yeah, I'll do D Biggs in a minute. So Monkey Boy finishes his lap. D Biggs is coming to the pits. Smokey's just finished his lap time as well. So car 9, I believe, is still on a lap. Car 9 is Halty. So Monkey Boy's done. Smoky Devil's done. D-Big's pitted. So let's go to Monkey Boy. A 1:46.425. Smokey's done as well. A 1:46.887. D-Biggs was in the pit, she said, of a 1:47.595. Who else is coming across the line? In fact, other drivers have started to pit. Jamie's took the checkered flag. So let's go through. We've not got Big Boy Brazier. We haven't got yet, but we know he's in the pits. That's a 1:45.189. Liam, is Dan in the pits?
Yes.
1:44.874 for Dan. What about Emplava?
Everybody is in the pits bar from Holt.
1:46.038. Ukbar is a 1:46. Ukbar a 1:46.896. And Halty then, who crossed the line, a 1:49.473. And we are joined, in fact, I'll tell you one man we forgot, is that of Overtaker. As we are joined by Sutty Apex. Graham.
Have you got my tickets?
The Italian stallion wasn't exactly your friend there, was she?
No, I'd have just managed to get the high 46s, but I got caught behind up bar, then I just haven't been able to string laps together.
Was that the problem tonight? Well, you say that. You say that. But if we was to do a 14-14 split, you would actually be in Pro-Am, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, boys.
Hang on, no, I've done that the wrong way around. Sorry, I've done that the wrong way around. So 2 seconds. You might not be. Still not done it the right way. Right. Top 14. You'd actually be in pro.
Oh well. I'm just going to string it together. It's not a track I like anyway. I couldn't get the chicane right. Hit the sausage curves. We know I like them. Got really frustrated and overdrove the car.
This compared to Project Cars 2, but it must be a nice feeling to be on a game that now actually wants to, the car do things that you want it to do.
Oh, it's good, yeah, and especially with me on the wheel. As we know, I've been on the pad quite a bit, and that, so yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'll only get better.
This is it. Will this encourage you to drive the wheel more?
I'll have to. I can't drive it on the pad.
Well, we'll let you get into this race, buddy. Best of luck. As he's into the formation. Now, I found a trick, Bozzy, that Dan didn't do last night. You know when the graphic changes to the list of drivers, if you press options and press return to garage, you don't have to do it while they're on the formation lap. Biggs missed the start of the race. That's unfortunate for Biggs.
I did not know this.
Yeah, I've just figured this out. So while you're sat waiting to press return to garage, I've just done it, and it's worked. So brilliant thing. So we're about to get this 10-minute race underway before the end of our fantastic stream. As always, join Dan on Orthodubs Live Sunday night for the start for the second race, or second round of the season. China we go to, Shanghai for Formula One. Can Max and Tim get all the wins? Who else will do other things? As it is green, the pit window opens, and it is a good start from Fury. Not the best of starts from Disco McDiscoface, who's already coming under some pressure. Tibbs, Jamie, and Plaver in the background. Overtaker going defensive down into turn 1, and here comes the rest of the pack. Fury to the outside. Is he going to look up the inside? No, he doesn't. Dan now jumps ahead of Disco, who's dropped down to P4. Jamie stays 5th. Tibbs still in 6th place at the moment, with Smokey Devil, who's come from 10th up to 7th. It's a good start from him. Peaceful down the order a couple of spots, as is Plaver and Monkey Boy. Ukbar down towards the back. Sooty Apex currently has Ukbar up his inside. And will Ukbar make a move into the corner? No, he won't. Biggs got away but missed the start, so that's something he might have to learn. Holty. PN Sooty's widening in the gravel, and that drops him down a few more places. But it's Overtaker from Fury, from Dan from Disco, from Big Boy Brazier, from Tibbs Liam, who is right on the back, as is Smokey Devil, of this front train. Oh, and Plaver loses it!
Yep, already a lot. I know, obviously, last night when we did our little race, obviously we didn't expect it. I presume these lads obviously already expected to obviously do this little 10-minute race, whereas yesterday it was it was just a last-minute kind of thing, and people weren't ready for it, whereas these guys might have been a bit more suited up, ready for it, and it's a lot closer.
It is indeed. As Peaceful and Monkey Boy trying to get through. There's Ukbar, PN, Sooty sending one up the inside of Holty. No dive bombing allowed this season, but that one looked pretty safe in my eyes. Plaver now has D-Biggs on the back of him after his lap 1 excursion in the mid-sector, and that is a Overtaker who has lost it. And I don't know if Fury got caught up in an incident there with him, but Fury has to cut the chicane massively there. That's compromised him. Dan leads.
Yeah.
Sorry, Liam.
Look like there was a bit. It did look like Fury kind of outbraked himself and did tap his rear a little bit, which sent Fury obviously a bit wide. And then it looked like, because Overtaker obviously trying to move away from it, hit the curb and spun himself round.
So it's Dan from Disco, from Fury, from Tibbs up in 4th, Smokey 5th, Overtaker wide at turn 1. That's going to allow Peaceful and Monkey Boy through on him then, and he's still not back on, still struggling to get back on. Ukbar now goes through. Sooty Apex might be looking to get onto Overtaker, but he's not close enough. He's got Holty up his chuff with PN down in 12th. Jamie, the first man in the pits with Plaver and D-Biggs coming through turn 3, and how it all changes after a lap.
Oh yes, and this is what we love about doing these races with these lads. There's a lot that can happen in a race, and especially when you've got some of the pro guys on. There's just so much action that can happen, so many mistakes that can happen, which just changes the results constantly.
Here's Monkey Boy looking to the outside of Peaceful. You're not going to do it on the grass, Monkey Boy. That's not the quickest route, though he's trying to go around the outside. And here comes Monkey Boy, look. How brave is he on the brakes in the Bentley? These two former teammates for a couple of seasons. Here comes Monkey Boy, although Ukbar's going to have a look on Monkey Boy. And Overtaker's going to have a look around the outside of all of them. He gets around the outside of Ukbar, but cannot get around the outside of the tank. And that is the problem in that car. Sooty trying to catch up onto this pack, as is Holty, PN and Plava, D-Biggs, Jamie, the only man so far to do his pit stop. Are we expecting anybody in the pits? Dan, over the sausage curbs, loses the car a little bit here, gathers it back to the circuit, carries on his way. Disco doesn't pit. Nobody yet coming in for their stops. What about this gaggle of cars? Monkey Boy coming in. No Overtaker, no Ukbar. Sooty Apex dives in as well. What about Holty? He's going to jump in, as does PM Motorsport, and Plava doesn't. Neither does D-Biggs. Dan then, defending from Disco, round the outside of turn 1, and Disco tucks back in, and there is a few drivers in the pit lane. Disco looking all over the back of Dan at the minute, with Fury all over the back of him, Liam.
Yeah, it's quite a... there's a three-way battle at the front, and it's nice to see as Exit Tibbs isn't actually super far behind these guys.
Oh,
so
Disco!
Three-way battle.
Bouncing off the curb, and that's going to allow Fury up the inside. It might allow Tibbs, but Disco will have the inside line for the next corner. And Disco, hard on the brakes. Tibbs going to look round the long way, tries to tuck back underneath, can't do so at the moment. Smokey's there in the background as well so far. Peaceful from Overtaker, from Ukbar, from Plava, Biggs, and then it's Monkey Boy, Holty, PN, Sooty all in the pit lane. Who blinks first? Monkey Boy was the first man in, so expecting him to be away. It's a 30-second pit stop here. You have to change your tyres.
And no matter what, the drivers are going to have to change tyres, and it's always going to be a 30-second pit stop. And hopefully none of these drivers have damage, because if they do have bad enough damage, it's going to really affect the pit time as well, if they change that.
They are away then, so lap 2, halfway through this 10-minute short little race, and it's Dan who leads from Fury. Disco's now a second back, but Dan again messing that chicane up. Will he choose to pit? Loses the rear a little bit and does come in now. No for Fury, no for Disco, no for Tibbs, no for Smokey at the moment. Mike, he's had an excursion. Did him and Overtaker have a coming together? Overtaker looks like he's got damage on the front of that car. Ukbar pits as well, as does Peaceful. So what happened there between them two? They was close together. Plava comes in the pit lane, as does D-Biggs then. So they are all in to the pits. Oh, I think Biggs may get done for speeding there. He was a little quick in. Now, Jamie, first man to pit. Where's he going to come out in relation to all of this? Obviously, drama's happening for other drivers elsewhere. Top 4, the only cars yet to pit. So where will Jamie feed out, Liam? This is the big question at the minute. Jamie's only down the back straight. Dan's in the pit lane at his pit box. So you keep an eye on when Dan's going. We'll watch Jamie come round.
I'm just watching him now as... who's that? D-Biggs has missed his pit box by a mile off.
Yeah, I think he's still got to learn this game a little bit. Jamie's coming into the final couple of corners now. Into the chicane. Through the first bit. Through the second bit. Jamie's now... So Dan's on his way. Jamie's coming around the final corner here then. So this is going to be tight. No, Dan's off the limiter. Yep. Dan way in front of Big Boy Brazier. Ukbar will jump Overtaker and Peaceful. That might be because of Overtaker and Peaceful coming together at the chicane. But Jamie comes through. Monkey Boy gets ahead of the drivers as well. Smokey Devil off. Now do the leaders pit. So Fury, Disco, Smokey Devil. Let's see. Fury pits. Disco pits. Tibbs pits. Smokey. Overtaker's only just left the pit lane, so he could have lost a lot of places here. So Smokey doesn't pit yet. Dan, net leader of this race from Jamie Brazier at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that. Jamie, 4 seconds off the back of him. So you imagine he'll be at least 3rd or 4th behind Tibbs. Monkey Boy currently 7th, with Ukbar in 8th. Holty's 9th, Sooty's 10th, Peaceful's 11th, PN's 12th, Plava's 13th, and Overtaker all the way down in 14th place, although he's actually behind Biggs. He's actually last, his Overtaker. He's behind D-Biggs at the moment.
Yeah.
He's trying to muscle his way past D-Biggs here, and... Oh, no contact made there, and Biggs giving him the space on exit, gets a little wiggle, manages to not keep it in the back of Biggs. So Dan then, he's been caught by Jamie, to be fair. Gap's come down quite a bit. So, I wonder if Dan didn't set his tyre pressures right. Fury to Dan then. Fury's thing has gone green, so I think Fury's going to jump Dan here. I think Disco's going to jump Dan. They're on their way out the pit lane.
Fury is now off the limiter.
Yeah, Dan's only just come out the final corner, so Fury leads from Disco's off the limiter. Tibbs off the limiter now. Here comes Dan and Jamie. Jamie's going to look up the inside of Dan. They've got a Disco with Disco face exiting the pit lane. Jamie gets past Dan and pulls back in front before the braking zone. So good move, Jamie, up into the top three, but it's Fury from Disco. Smokey, I noticed, still didn't pit, so has to pit this lap. Otherwise, it is a hefty time penalty then. Yeah, Biggs, stop-go penalty for track limits. So actually got it slowed down in the pit lane. But track limits, he's been given a stop-go penalty of 10 seconds, which I assume he'll have to do this lap, or it'll probably get added to his race time, because this is the last lap of the race, I do believe. Although Smokey should actually make it one extra lap. No, so Smokey will actually make it an extra lap. Smokey's in and crosses the line now. So the leader's on the final lap, which should be Fury, Disco, Jamie, Dan, Tibbs, Monkey Boy, Ukbar, Peaceful, Sooty, Apex and Plava. PN Motorsport, Halty, Overtaker gaining on them. Biggs, still obviously new to the game and learning it. Here comes Jamie. There's a big off in the background. I think Tibbs has had a massive spin. Monkey Boy manages to avoid him. Does he get going before Ukbar? I believe he does, yes. But will Ukbar get him because of the difference in speed? I don't think so. Fury is coming to the final couple of corners. Keep your eyes on Smoky Devil, Bozzy. Fury,
yeah,
Disco, Jamie. Through the chicane. Well, this is the closest they've been, because normally they've been on the way out as they come through the final corner. I think they're all going to jump Smokey here. Smokey's now on his way out, I believe. His thing's gone green. Yes. So Smokey's on his way out. Dan is nowhere near the back of this pack. Fury from Disco. They've taken the lead of this race with Jamie on the podium at the moment. Here comes Disco. He's going to look up the inside of Fury into turn one. And Disco, Fury gives him the space through two. Disco's now going to give Fury the space. Fury just bounces off the curb a little bit. Jamie's there. Fury up the Disco at the inside at turn three. Jamie can't follow through. And on the last lap, Fury looks like he's possibly just lost this race lead.
Yeah, and it really goes back to what I was saying earlier of there's so much that can happen in a race, and how obviously there's a lot. The race lead changes a lot, and it has now just on the final lap. And Fury's going to be really pushy on Disco to try and get that position back.
I noticed something in practice the other night, Bozzy, that when you don't do your tyre pressures for your pit strategy, and it changes them and puts them on terrible tyre pressures, your car is awful. I wonder if that's what's happened to Dan here. Obviously choosing late minute to go into the Porsche, because he's well off the pace since his pit stop. Disco from Fury from Jamie. Dan's got Smokey and Monkey Boy right up his chuff here, with Tibbs currently 7th. Biggs doing his stop-go penalty. And Disco will come through the final couple of corners. Leaders on the final lap, don't forget. I don't think Biggs did his stop-go penalty there, unless he's then been caught for speeding, in which case, poor Biggs. Obviously a bit to learn. But Disco then will round the final corner. And it's not going to be a double Bentley win, but it is going to be a Disco with Disco face Ferrari win. He will win the 10-minute fun race from Fury from Big Boy Brazier. Dan, I think Monkey Boy's gone round. I think Smokey's tapped him round. I think Smokey's going to let him have the place. But Dan then is going to cross the line P4. He is indeed. Smoky Devil will be P5. Tibbs P6. Monkey P7. Ukbar is going to get P8. P9 is going to go the way of Peaceful Explosion. P10 for Plava. P11 Sooty Apex, who just manages to pip Overtaker to the line for P12. Halty down in 13th place. PN down in 14th, and D-Biggs retired back to the pit lane. Bozzy, what a night we've had. We now know what the groups may take a look for, which will obviously be posted on the social media, on the Discord over the weekend. We kind of know what the groups are going to take place, Bozzy, but what a night, or what a 2 nights of qualifying. You've been here for both of them. Sum up what the nights have been for you, seeing as you've done both nights.
Very quick. Very quick indeed. It's been really enjoyable being able to do the commentary for this again. and yeah, it's just been a really quick night. There's been quite a lot that happened. A load of ups, loads of downs, loads of questionable moments, but nonetheless, it's been really good.
It has been really good. Dan, yourself, you broadcasted last night for us. You've driven tonight. The groups are set now, so we kind of get a rough idea of who's competing against who.
Yeah, definitely so. Just want to say, my Precious, I didn't set Precious at all.
I thought so.
So yeah, she was a handful towards the end.
It shows how much, though, doesn't it, that this game, the Precious, are so crucial.
Yeah, definitely so. It was definitely interesting for sure. It's going to be interesting now where people are going to lay into positions, what partners and team shits and cars are all going to happen. Obviously, a lot of people may not be in the same cars that they're in right now. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see. And I'll tell you what, Disco's back to form in this, definitely, because he was all over my rear bumper at the start of that.
Yeah, good pace and a good race from himself. We're excited to get the season underway.
Oh, definitely so. I want it to start now.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, first things first, though, you've got a broadcast to bring us Sunday night. Before we get on to Sunday night, let's just have a chat with our other admin and fellow enthusiast. Mike, groups are set. We kind of know who's racing who. It's showtime now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's game on for the season now. I think now's the time people can pick their teammate. A few of us have sort of had our eyes on people. You've still got to wait to see if where Gary qualifies, see if he puts you in a dilemma. But no, it's looking good. Neither me or Sutty could hook this Ferrari up properly. Towards the end, it was a bit better, but yeah, just struggled. But comfortable time for pro, so
yeah. But there's a few drivers out there that I think not many people expected to do a lot, and yeah, there's a few that have done quite well. Tibbs and Disco. Disco we know is a quick guy, but 44s, Tibbs.
I was gonna say Tibbs for me was the shock so far. Tibbs.
He was for me. When I seen him jump me, I'm like, wow, where's that come from?
Yeah, Kelly, like you say, Kelly last night as well.
I know for a fact that the setup Disco has on that car is amazing. Funnily enough, yeah. So it's a track that definitely favoured that, and he's a fast driver on here. So we'll see what he pulls out on the season. See if he has better luck than Project Cars 2. But yeah, Tibbs is a bit of a surprise. I don't think many of us saw that one coming.
And Jamie, yourself, obviously to round the night in the Audi, you got the move on done quite easy down the straight, didn't you? But exciting night. The groups are picked. I bet you can't wait to get going now either.
No, I can't wait to get going. So just change a few things on the Audi, and I'm near enough in the 44s. Couldn't quite get there, but yeah, it feels good in qualifying in the race. Hopefully got to find someone that will go in the Audi.
Well, that's it. Teams will now be selected in this next month. Obviously, there will be a date where the drivers will have to confirm team names, liveries, cars, and such. They've got a month to do so. But the groups are pretty much set. We kind of know who is going to be in what. The question is who's going to team with who and who is going to be driving what. Obviously, there could be new drivers come in. We obviously know that we've got to get Gary 131 in to do a qualifying lap, which could demote one or two other drivers or just put him in a random group at the moment, but we shall see. Either way, Sunday night, back to the proper racing action of Formula One. Shanghai, China is the circuit. And Dan on Orthodubs will be bringing you the live action of that one, and I can't wait to get that one underway and hopefully avoid my teammate. I say avoid my teammate. Hopefully my teammate avoids me this week. Yeah, we'll see. Either way, that is what's going to happen Sunday night. 8 p.m. GMT, Dan on Orthodubs bringing you the live action for that one. As it is every Sunday night at the moment, and we've got a month now. Keep your eyes on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're not a part of the Discord, get involved in the Discord. If you want to sign up to the Championship, Discord, Facebook, the place to be. Message the group or get involved in the Discord and let us know. Sign-up sheets are out to get that one done. Bozzy, pleasure as always having you in the commentary box. Likewise, Kieran Argent as well for jumping in. Dan, Jamie, Mike and Sutty Apex, thank you for jumping in the comms box as well. I've been Matthew Duffin there. We've been Simplay Motorsport. Take care. Good night. Take care. Good night. Oh, Buzzy, that was so professional, wasn't it? Like, oh.
Are we off air now?
Yeah, you are off air. You can't be
Read
heard.
the comment. Phil's put, do we know whose teammates have already pooped in there?
Has he put pooped?